Welcome back to the Purple Rain Podcast. It's part 3 to our 2025-26 Girls on Tour series. So the last part we went through stops 5 to 8. This time it stops 9 through 12, which of course includes those 2 stops in Denver that happened back to back. Before that, we've obviously got Washington, which took place on January 18, then Denver, January 25, and then March 15. And then Winnipeg will finish us off on March 22. Those are the 4 games we're going to be covering this time. And like I said, obviously this is going to be a very special part, because obviously in stop 11, which was March 15, we were there. We were actually there in person. So you've got more additional thoughts. Obviously we've already done an episode on our sister show at the casino, which you can go check those out. But we just did some exports. Now, for the 2 Denver pop segments of this episode, there may or there may not be a very special VIP guest joining me per lady. I am neither confirming nor denying that. You're going to have to wait until we get to the first Denver game that we cover on this show to find out. Okay? So there may be a special guest. So maybe not. We'll see. I'm neither confirming nor denying. You're going to have to watch the episode to find out. Before you do that, why don't you go get some drinks, and then we come back, we will get started with our thoughts on the third part of the 2025-26. Stop 9, Washington, D.C. Oh my god. Oh my god, we were not prepared for this one. We were not prepared for this one on January the 18th. I'm just going to read the number out now. Right, there you go. 17,228. 17,228. That was, at the time, that was a new US record at the time. Wow. Now, I remember in the run-up to the Washington stop, there was a lot of talk online about how, Washington's selling out really well. There might be talk about maybe another record being set. We're like, no. Could got close. Yeah, we thought could get close to what the previous one record was, but no. Then, oh my bloody god. Where was it now? It's all 3 of us. Our jaws was just on the floor. They were. It was like, what? In the nation's capital. What? Yeah. And after that game, us 3 basically, and of course I even did an episode on it afterwards. The 3 of us just basically said, right, there you go, Washington, have a team. We basically said, Washington, have a team. Because how could you deny that? How could you deny that? Washington did not just show up. They literally smashed the record at the time. It was like crazy. How could you deny that? A team, how could you deny the team? How could you deny that? So, I'm going to be very shocked if we do not see Washington back on the tour next year. Abby, you have to go back next year. You have to. They literally smashed the record for women's hockey attendance. How could you deny my team? Now, of course, at the time, remember this was January. Remember this was January, and back at the time in January, we were thinking like the Detroit, Denver, and Edmonton as being locks. Okay, we locked those 3 in, which I think, right, who's that 4th one? Okay, it's DC. Come on in, guys. Okay. So I don't think we locked in our picks again, did we? No, because we just kept changing. Yeah. So at the time, we did not see San Jose coming. Neither Las Vegas. Hamilton was like, oh, I'd love them to, but I don't think they will. But there you go. Okay. So we were literally saying, how could you deny Washington the team when they've literally just smashed the attendance record? So I feel that Washington is destined to join the league. It's just not right now. It's not right now. Do what Denver has got to do. That is build your relationship up with several Takeover Tour games, and then you'll probably get in team. Okay. But also, don't be expecting this game to be so intense. It was big spot at Sirens. The Sirens won it 2-1. They even won it by getting the lead in the game, which is very rare for Sirens to do. Okay. So the Takeover Tour stops in DC as a crowd of 17,228 sets the largest attendance in US women's hockey history, surpassing the mark set in Seattle a few weeks ago. Peyton Levi's 4th goal of the season proves to be the difference in the nation's capital. Yeah, that first period was like blink and you miss, because Christina Kaczmarek, the 2025 first overall draft pick, she lit the lamp about, what was it, 90 seconds of the contest? It was on the power play. The power play just started, and already she got them on the ball straight away. And then Montreal also got their own power play goal in the dying minutes of that first period. So it was like, whoa, is special teams going to be the difference maker in this game? Could have been. You just think, wow. But the thing is, though, the Sirens had at least 4 more opportunities and just could not find the back of the net. Now, yes, you could argue, well, you won the game, but close. And the Big 12 kept pressing. Okay? So, yes, the net result was 2-1 for the Sirens, but they did not win that game comfortably. The Big 12, especially in that third period, they were pressing and pressing and pressing. I personally felt, right, Kelly Osborne played one of her best games of the season. Particularly that save where the Big 12 fought it across the line, but oh my god. Not even X-ray vision would be able to give a concrete evidence on that goal. No, it wouldn't have. It really wouldn't have. And they did try their best to show all different angles of that sequence. And I think it's only fair it did go to CSR, because you need to definitely make sure it didn't cross the line. Especially at that point of the game where it could have changed everything. So I think it was right, went to CSR. Yes, it was a lengthy review, but it was the right thing to do. At the end of the day, they couldn't find any conclusive evidence to say it did cross the line, and obviously fair bet. But we did get fair amount of angles. But yeah, I feel like she was the difference maker for York in that game. And she played one of her best. Because at the end of the end, she was also in fine form. But I think Osborne was the better of the two net minors. This game. It's not every day you'd pick Osborne the better net minor over Desbian. Nope. Better on mine next year for Hamilton. Yep. So yeah, it's not every day you'd say that. But I have to agree. I do think she played exceptionally well, and I just think that was the huge difference maker. You know, if only she had more nights like that, then maybe York could have got to a playoff spot. Yeah. Well, or if Greg Fargo give it a fair amount of rest every now and then, instead of sending her in 19 nights out, as if she was a soldier on the battlefield, then maybe. Oh, I thought you were about to quote Jordan Sparks there. Nope. But thanks for showing my age there, my friend. Nope. Yeah, but I felt that was one of her best, if not her actual best of the season. Incredible. And Peyton Levis, getting that goal as well. That go-ahead goal. Out of nowhere. That was also a big moment too. Because obviously, well, as you said, George, it's very, very rare for the Sirens to play with a lead. They're not good at it. So when the Sirens get a lead, you do wonder, right, how are they going to be able to handle this? Because we know they're not good at it. So we look at it and you think, oh god, it's only a matter of time before the opponent scores. And ties it up, and then swings momentum back in the theatre. But I felt the Sirens did manage that lead really well. Can I talk about the squad? Go on. No, can I start first? I just need to quote Aristocats. Go on. Ladies Referees do not start fights, but they can finish them. I really love how we actually did insert that clip when we did the episode last year. I think it's so funny how we actually inserted that clip in, and then we just basically kind of segue as if Marie was actually in the room. But go on, boys, talk about the score you want to talk about. Well, for starters, it wasn't very ladylike. I also just thought, was it really called for? Especially as Taylor Gerard got herself suspended for it. Yeah, totally uncalled for. Because I think, and we even asked the East crew about this. Did you know this rule existed? Because apparently it does exist in the NHL. So apparently, if you leave the bench at the end of the game to be involved in the scrum, it's an automatic suspension. We did not know that was a rule in the NHL, now mind the PHL, so we had to ask the East crew did you know that's a rule? They did not. They did not. We did not know that it was a rule either, and we thought, really? 4 games because she jumped off her bench to go and help her teammates in a bit of handbags. How much did you want to say bitch fight then, George? I really want to before it wasn't really much bitch fight, was it? It was just basically handbags. Did some players go on top of one another? I think so. So it was a bitch fight. Oh, are we really debating the definition of a bitch fight? No. 2 women scrapping, that's the definition of a bitch fight. And all boys says, back away! Back away! I just thought, really? It was the dying seconds of the game. Sirens got the win. The buzzer goes, did we really need that? Did we really need that? Especially if it had then turned to an actual fight, then the suspension would have been handed out rocky. So, yes, because in our league, we do not tolerate fighting. In our league, we actually suspend players for dropping the gloves. You might want to look into that, Gary. Just saying. Just saying. You might look into that. But I just, yeah, it's like, and I'm quite glad if you go watch the replay. I'm quite glad they do not show it in full. They show the initiation. They show the initiation, and straight away just wrap it up. Say that's all, folks. Tune in next week. Yeah, because like, do we really need to see that? But what I think is silly is how some people in the comments say, "Oh, well, it's coming. Want to see a score? Want to score?" It's like, really? If you want to watch women fighting, go and watch pro wrestling. We're not here to do that. No, we're here to watch a game of hockey. Not here to watch women fight. If you want to watch women fight on the telly, go watch Loose Women. And we've just now been blacklisted. We've just now been blacklisted. Now the reason I didn't say go check out the View is because A, I prefer the View to Loose Women, and B, the women on the View don't really fight with each other compared to Loose Women. So there you go. But yes, I think I might have just shot ourselves in the foot when it comes to potential promotion opportunities for this league. Oh my god! But it was just, I'm gonna have to go like this. I'm sorry, the rest of it. I'm sorry. But it was just right. Seriously, why was this breaking out like literally the dying seconds of the game? Yeah, if it happened like midway through one of the periods, okay, fine. Because you could see that tempers were starting to boil. Well, I think it was more the frustration was going a bit to our spaces because they felt we really should be tied here. They felt, I think they looked at you for, right, this is a team where at the very least we should be tied right now, not being down by a goal. So, Christian Stars goes ahead, I don't know, but yeah, you can tell the Big 12 were really rattled. Particularly as the third period was winding down. Okay, so why did the scrum not happen during the third period? Why did you have to wait till literally the dying seconds, like the final buzzer, literally when as the scrum was literally going on, was breaking out? And plus, what was Taylor Gerard thinking when she did jump over the bench? What was she thinking? I mean, Red Barker was literally there. Surely she would have got, no, don't do that. Maybe like because he didn't know that was a rule. Yeah, because technically, if I was Greg Fargo and I saw Tay about to jump off the bench, I probably would have stopped her because you don't want it to get worse. But anyway, but whoever was stopping her that race was just gone. It was like, oh, yeah. We actually watched this game live, and it was very bizarre when the scrum did break. We were like, what is going on here? You know what? Really? Come on, girls, ladies, come on now, come on now, ladies. You're just embarrassing yourselves. The far buzzer's gone. Nothing more we can do now. Sirens, you've got 3 points. Go back to New Jersey. Like, seriously, it's like, ladies! What we needed was Hannah Montana to come in the middle and pull people's weaves. Now, that's a good bitch fight. That is a good fight. That's got to be one of my all-time favourite episodes of Hannah Montana. It really is. It's just, that's good. Now, that is a good bitch fight. Right there. Right there. But I honestly, I was like, what is going on? What is going... We don't do this. What the hell? It's like, oh, God. But anyway, he did get broken off eventually. But the damage was done potato rod. It did get rescinded though, but it got rescinded by 1 game. Because the tie was so bizarre, because we were only about, what, a week or so away from going Olympic break. And I think she would have had like 1 or 2 to start after it, so it was just like... Anyway. So in future reference, right, if there's a scrum happen at the end of the game, don't jump off the bench to go and join in. Because if you do, you'll get suspended. Right, but we didn't know that was a rule. We did not know it was a rule. Who says this league's not educational? Who says all league's not educational? Hey, Memphis! Every day's a school day, kid. Oh, I'm not from you. Oh, now we're trying to BB10 here now, aren't we? Oh, that was a bitch fight. Oh, now you're all best friends! Now you're all best friends! Yeah, it was a bizarre sequence in the day to watch. It was a bizarre sequence in the day to watch. But really, come on, Sirens, you've got the 3 points in the bank. Let's all just go home. Let's all just brush off and then get ready for the next one. But no. But anyway, but Washington really brought it. They brought it out. They came out in their droves to support this league, and I just could not believe it. I genuinely couldn't believe it. But because this was not long after MSG had been announced, we just knew, make the most of it while you can, because chances are that is going to go very quickly. Well, they only hold on to that record for about a month because the Torrent, on their first game back for Olympics, did just break it. They smashed it. Standing room only. Yeah. And that for me was, and we did do episode like that as well. That just took me by surprise how to see it all. Literally first game back for Olympics, and you've not only sold out all the seats, but you've also got like a couple 100 people also being standing room only. That was like, wow. And then of course, after that, MSG took it, and I don't think MSG is going to get beaten. Because MSG was 18,006, and I think it might be quite hard to beat that, especially as we've already had Bell Center get 21,000. So I think it's going to be quite hard to beat that in the US. But I could be proven wrong. You know, maybe there's a few readers out there in the US who can get more than MSG. Who knows? I could be proven wrong. But every time I said this record's not going to get broken again, it does. I already had it got smashed. What was it? 4 times this season alone? I think so. And twice by Seattle. There you go. Yeah, there you go. No, so I would be very surprised if Washington does not get a second crack at the whip next year. I'll be very surprised. Because that market clearly showed they're in it. They want it. They want to be here. Good. Good. Because that's what I want to see when you get a Takeover Tour game. I want you to show me that you recognise how special it is to have this in your market. So while I'm Washington. We all three of us just literally can see it. Right, give them a team. Give them a team. But alas, not for now. We'll see what happens. I think Washington's got to be up there along with Denver and Alberta. We're looking at the next markets to be given teams. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens at that front. But what a game. What a game. I don't think everyone saw this game fighting between these two sides. But it sure made excited for their next matchup, which just happened to be the first game back from Milan Cortina. You could have made that up. No, that was just wow. I never seen it so fast between these two sides before. No. Never mind the Torrent having a rivalry with Sarah's draw. It's the bit Yeah, well. They can have multiple rivalries. Every day's a rivalry day in the league in this league. There's articles in Minnesota. There's articles in Minnesota. Alright, so what a game. What a game. Incredible game to watch. Sirens 2, Victor 1 in Washington. Stop 10, Denver. And it was Garnize at Turin. So it's very funny how the next two stops we're looking back on were both Denver. Because both Denver games were kind of sandwiched in between the Olympics. Because you had this one which we're doing now was the last one before the Olympics. And then the one after that, which was us, was after the Olympics. In terms of the first and the last second tour before that and all that. So Bernie Miz wants to come up with both of them. Okay. So this was a really tightly close packed game. But dates. Oh, of course, sorry. These are the dates. These are the dates. Yep. At least you reminded me on the camera this time. So it was January 25th. January 25th. 11,612 attended that game. That actually wasn't too shabby. That actually wasn't too shabby. We were expecting a bit of a dip because on that day, it was the day of the NFL championship matches in both conferences to determine who's going to go to Saturday and the Super Bowl. So that's the reason I knew who got to the Super Bowl, because they mentioned it on the broadcast. So we were kind of expecting a bit of a dip, which was kind of understandable, because basically, let's face it, not even Bernie could probably beat the Super Bowl, could you, Bernie? No. At least you can admit that, Bernie. I think, love you, Bernie. Come here. Come on, Bernie. I love you. I bet you know, if it was any other maskers on here, they would not openly admit to that. They would they, Bernie? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. They would not. So at least Bernie could be open and honest here about himself. Love you, Bernie. There you go. There you go. Love you. You're such a gracious host to us. Which we'll talk about in a minute, okay? Yeah. Right. So I totally understand why and I kind of felt if it hadn't been for that game for the Broncos, I think we would have had more people attend this game, because we can't because the start time's kind of like 3 hours apart from one another. Yeah. So yeah. No, but to get 11,000 people on the same day that you're having an airport championship game, that's not bad. That is really not bad. That is decent. We'll take that. We will absolutely take that. Absolutely take that. Yeah. I kind of felt this game was really, really very well tightly fought. It was a 3-1 scoreline, but I kind of felt it was a really tight knit game, and I think either team could have got points out of that. Yeah, it's one of those games where you kind of thought, oh, both teams really said to come something there, but of course, alas, victory goes to the spoils, and it will be Vancouver who would be rolling on the floor with the spoils. Okay, so let's go to it now, shall we? Okay. Okay. So Golden Eyes 3, Tour 1. Denver is the latest stop on the PWHL Takeover Tour, where the league's two newest teams face off against one another. Vancouver comes away victorious, best in Seattle 3-1. Now, Seattle's lone goal is what I'd like to talk about, because, oh my god, Eldridge. Wow. What a goal. She was pretty much all alone, saw a breakaway, and she gets that goal. Wow, what a laser. Ties things up. You just thought, wow, what a beauty. That is a player you do not want to leave all alone. And, you know, I can see what impact she made to Boston when she did get traded. Because obviously that trade happened not long after this Takeover Tour game. I think it might have been. Was it during when we were in Mathis or Denver? We got back to Minneapolis we got back to Minneapolis. Oh, okay. Yeah, so but obviously that goal set was what a beauty. There was no way Vancouver could stop that one. But yeah, but I just felt Vancouver's goals were maybe Izzy Dagger with that one, and then Michelle Carmen. Carmen basically, you know, got goal kind of seal the deal. Yeah, that goal kind of, you know, sealed the deal there. Yeah. Whereas I think Seattle maybe might get a goal to tie it up, then I think it might be different. Because I agree with Lady, this game did kind of feel like it should have been a game where, oh, both teams, and it's easy to have, and in this league it's a 3-point system. It's easy for both teams to come with points on the night, but yeah, it just kind of felt like, this is a game where really it should have been under both teams. You know, both teams could have won this one. Seattle would come back and think, I could have had all my belts and all that, but a really good experience. And I think it was a really, you know, such a really good thing, you know, to have, you know, one of the league's newest rivalries go on the Takeover Tour. So I felt, you know, like how in Chicago, you had an incentive to come out and see a World Cup Finals rematch. Here in Denver, you had opportunity to come and see the league's two newest teams go head-to-head in what should be a thrilling rivalry. And unlike Chicago, Bernie and the rest of Denver here took the bait. They took the bone and ran with it. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forget. Don't mention bones around dogs. They get excited. Yeah, I know. That was my mistake. But what you want to show? Oh, yes. Yes, Bernie wants to show everyone there's a bone on his head to represent them on the back of his jersey. That's lovely, Bernie. That's lovely. Are you now flashing at my viewers? He's wagging his tail now. Bernie! It's not flash at the viewers. The boys and girls at home don't want to see that. Yeah, it's really good. I mean, there was a couple actually on the Takeover Tour that actually was the incentive. I mean, obviously in Edmonton, you had the first match between the Golden Eyes and the Frost as well. Yeah. So Detroit, obviously, the second one, you know, on national telly. So yeah, but I feel this one, yeah. Because I think we all really hope Seattle Vancouver could become a really good thrilling rivalry. I think we all prefer to see it in Seattle Vancouver, but I think to do it now on the Takeover Tour is good because it really helps in case of any Seattle Vancouver fans in Denver, maybe. So I think it's really good that we got to see one of the league's newest team, the league's newest rival, should say, come out and be in what is a really good hockey city. You know, because I've been so impressed every time we've gone to Denver on the Takeover Tour. I've just been so impressed. So it's really great to see Also, I should point out, obviously, they had the Blink 182 song, and I basically then said to George, right, you need to learn that. Because obviously, at the time, the next Takeover Tour game is going to be when we were there, and I was like, right, that's a Denver tradition, you gotta do it. I didn't know they still did it, because obviously the Blink 182 was a big thing during Bernie's run to the Stanley Cup 4 years ago. It was played towards the end of the third period in every Avalanche home game, like how Louis would always blare Gloria at some point during the Pittsburgh in 2019. I thought after 2020 the Avalanche retired that, so I was a bit surprised that's still going. And yeah, it did. No, we'll save the next bit. We'll save the next segment. Okay, I'll see. We'll tell you how that went down. Remind me. And I was like, I did say maybe I'll get the lyrics printed to it and put it in the binder, but never got round to it. Because I just thought, what am I really going to take up the lyric sheet into Ballerina? Nah. Plus, would it happen then for Deathlet? We didn't know until we were there. Yeah. Right, but a really tight game. A really tight, thrilling game. Yeah. It was just amazing to watch and just see the competitiveness and just see, okay, despite these two expansion teams, they can be competitive. It's just they've got to try, find ways to generate on the ice. Yeah. And it was a really tightly fought game. I just felt it would have really good if we could have gone to a shootout. Lady, nobody wants shootouts. Are you insane? Yeah, even Bernie's not impressed with that. Even Bernie's like, are you insane, woman? No, I'm not, man. Wait, don't shout at Bernie! Don't shout at Bernie! Me and him are the same age. It's just unlike him, but unlike me, he doesn't look it. You don't look it either, you look 20 years older. Because I feel 20 years older! Jesus, I can't believe me and Bernie are the same age. He doesn't look it, I do. Yeah. So I felt it was a really good game, a really good tight-knit, close-to-well-fought game. It's just a shame the Broncos have been at the same time. Now, of course, at the time the Takeover Tour was announced, the leagues didn't know that. Nobody could have known or foreseen the Broncos having that playoff run, which of course did fall short for them. I know, Bernie, I know. It's been a very disappointing year for Denver sports, hasn't it, Bernie? Yeah. Do you think me and Nordy would have done better in the Compass Files, Bernie? No. Oh, right. Well. Okay. Let's be honest, my friend. Your cracks were visible the moment you faced me and Nordy in that second round. You've got to admit it. I mean, the fact it was what? 9-6 was it in game 1? So you can see there's problems on both sides in that department. And the fact that then Bernie in game 5 had to come back from 3-0 down. Yeah, it was yeah. Poor Bernie. Poor Bernie. It's not been a great year for Denver sports teams. It's been a year of basically a lot of shortcomings. It's promised so much but failed so hard. Yeah, I know. But you got a great game out of it. Yeah. But I do think if it had been for that Broncos game at the same time, I think maybe you would have got more fans who would have thought, oh, I would have gone that as well. But yeah, would have thought, yeah. But honestly, just a really great game. Although, actually, if you were to those fans in that position, maybe you should have come to us instead of the Broncos, because the Broncos will probably have another opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. Right now, you still haven't got a PHL team, and yet I know how bad you want one. I know how badly you deserve one. So really, if you go choose between Broncos and the PHL, then maybe, given how your team's still not a PHL city yet, maybe choose the PHL, get the attendance up, and prove more why you should be given a team in the future. Yeah? That would have been my logic. But again, I can't stand football. Anyways, it was a thrilling game. It was a really tightly fought game. Really great to see. But it was Golden Eyes 3, Torrent 1. Stop 11. Denver. how, you know, Denver was kind of like a back-to-back in terms of the Takeover Tour schedules. You had the game we just recounted, or recap, we'll call it. The game we just covered was before the Olympic break, and then the game that we did was after the Olympic break. So it kind of makes doing this part of it kind of looks like weird, because like we haven't really sort of hopped over and hopped back anyway. We're still staying in one place, so Penny gets to stay here. It's just obviously I've changed frocks. Because obviously the last Denver we just did, that was recorded on a different day. Alright, sit George, give away all your secrets. Honesty's goth for you, yeah, so I kind of feel like it's going to be quite tricky trying to do this like a little highlights package, because obviously we were there. Like, we literally were there back on March 15 at Ball Arena in Denver. We were one of the... Let me just get it up. Let me just get it up. We were the... Hold on. Right, there you go. We were one of the 15,512 people who were at that Takeover Tour game in Ball Arena. It was Sirens at Frost, so we were the designated home team for that game. We have done a full recap of that on our sister show at the casino that covers all of our post-trip content. So if you want to go check out thoughts for that, please do go and check it out. We also did an episode where we talked about our experience of being both in Denver and on the Takeover Tour. So if you want to go check those out, it's all available on at the casino. We also do have a highlights package as well of all the videos that were filmed by me in Ball Arena. So we're going to try not to go over the talent. We have these little highlights we're doing. We try to keep these short for the Takeover Tour recaps. So we'll try not to see us a little bit, but just say you want to go and check this out, you can go into more details. Okay, so yeah, so it's Sirens at Frost. Frost 4, Sirens 3. In the second Denver Takeover Tour game of the season, Minnesota stays red hot as they take down New York, withstanding a late third period push by Sirens. It was just incredible. I mean, just to watch. That was such a high, thrilling, octane game. Tell you what, if you were one of the many people there who were not with the Frost or the Sirens, you guys got treated to a really good game. You literally got your money's worth. But for us who were there representing the Frost or the Sirens, this was a bit of a heart attacker, especially for us, because obviously I felt like we really dominated that game. Oh yeah, we really took control. Yeah, and Denver's passion as well was just incredible. I mean, didn't Taylor Hines the second period, didn't her goal literally come as the crowd was doing the wheel of the T-trap? It was so awkward, because the crowd literally tried that shout for every single period, and when they did it in the second period, literally in the first 60 seconds, but of course Taylor Hines scored about 30 seconds into that period. So it's kind of like, okay, then we'll come back to you in a moment. We just need to give a little cheer for our girl, and then we'll come back to you. Yeah. And the Olympians just, oh yeah, the Olympians that we had on RT, they literally got I think it was pretty much all the goals, because Grace O'Brien, I think, got 2. Heidi got 1. And who was the other? I think it was Carl Fleming. Oh no. Yeah, I think you did booed. Who didn't? Who didn't when she kind of got right, but it's really good now to see, because you know it was only we played the night 2 days before. Yeah, we played on the Friday, and the team didn't get in like cause the team didn't get until the Saturday, so they didn't get the opportunity to have an open practice session, whereas the Sirens did. Yeah. Which kind of blessed the skies, because I think we probably would have loved to have gone to the open practice sessions that were being held for the Takeover Tour, which we can do. But because our flight into Denver was an afternoon flight, we didn't get into Denver until about 4 o'clock-ish, something like that. Even if Frost did have a open practice, there was no way we were going to get there in time. Yeah. So I was kind of wondering, would this give the Sirens an advantage, because they probably to practice, whereas we've not, but... So the fact that we came out guns blazing was really, really good. I just loved being. I actually really loved being in Denver. Yeah, I actually loved being in Ballina. Well, a few things that would change, like those steps, because they were bad for you. They were bad for you. You had to really do like a it was like a trying to get. The steps were quite steep, and also can gates. Yeah, because they insisted that they open the cans for you when you're buying drinks. They insisted to open the cans for you before you go down. And we were like, no. And they weren't like your standard 8-pack cans that you can get from your local supermarket. They were literally like tall cans. So I just knew straight away that is going to be an accident ready to happen for me if I had to go down those steps with these two in one arm and a tall can of Coca-Cola in another arm. It's gonna be carnage. So luckily we did win eventually, because the old saying goes, the customer's always right. So we did. So we did win on that battle. But yeah. But I've actually really loved time. I know. I did say that Charles the Takeover Tour game was probably gonna be the best game of the trip, because that's like a treaty. There's gonna be Melchi's go back to Minnesota, but how she's going to go back to Denver. You need a team, Bernie. You need a team. Yeah, but when the Sirens kind of made that fight back, I was kind of like, oh, here we go. Because I think we were kind of prepared for it. I mean, because at the second period we were 4-0 to the goods. Now, I don't want to say that we were sitting there looking pretty. We kind of felt, okay, 4-0 up, good, but we know what the Sirens are capable of. And as another old saying goes, mind you, it only takes one. Yep. Well, you were quite a bit about number there, weren't you? Was that the airport episode? Yes. Then Kyle goes, what do you mean it doesn't take one? So it's like, doesn't mean anything. It just based the back blacks. We don't know what we're talking about, but I guess it was something not pretty. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Carry on. So we kind of thought 4. I mean, I think it's very hard to try and go back for 4 goal deficit. I've seen plenty of times that a 3 goal deficit could be overturned, but not a 4 goal one. But when they got our first one, I think us we were kind of like, it was on a power play, so we were kind of like, okay, we can let them have one. It's been like when Seattle got their lone goal on the Friday. We were kind of, okay, you can have one, just not at all. And then when we got the second one quickly after, we were like, oh no. It was like, uh-oh. Yep. Yeah, because I think at that point we kind of think, okay, they're now definitely going to go and pull Osborne at some point. I think if it stayed 4-1, I don't think they would have dared took the risk. Because why would you mean it's a 3 goal deficit? But a 2 goal deficit, it was like, yeah. So that's why for the majority of the rest of the pitch, I was kind of focusing on York's end rather than our end, because I was like waiting for. Because where we were sat in block 1-2-2, we couldn't see the clock, so we didn't know how much time was left on the clock, so we had to basically, just judge it for ourselves. Yeah. So I was paying more attention to Osborne and her end, because I was wondering when was she going to go. When she did go, New York got the 3rd goal. It's literally, that's how quick it was. And those few minutes were so hard attacking, because we were just thinking, oh my god, we've gone from seeing pretty at 4-0 to potentially now, oh my god, blowing this game. And in a 3-point system, you know how important the regulation wins are. And I don't think I could have handled the prospect of going to OT or shootout. Would have been nice for the crowd in Denver, but not for me when we can't really need these points, especially how earlier in the day Toronto got points, Boston and Montreal both got points because that did go to OT. So we really need to get as many points as possible. So to cut away with that, with that far buzzer went, and this was a riot. You did? Oh yeah. Should we talk about the heated riot? Because at one point, during the breaks in play, heated riot got mentioned, and you went to me, not that sort of heated riot, George. I was like, oh. And George was still not publicly out at the time, so I know you could behind me. I know you could be the island right there then. Yeah. You could be that. Yeah. And then, as when we did get the win, I was like, oh. And he's like, oh, you need a cup of tea? You did! You know I don't like tea. You said, well, your voice was very harsh, George. So would yours if your team nearly threw away a 4 4-0 lead to then and drop points. It was like, but it was actually a really hard-attacking, thrilling game. But at the same time, you're thinking, oh my god, what we just watched? And I think that's kind of why I would like to do a Takeover Tour game where the Frost are involved. Because I'd love to, you know, see how it felt for those hockey fans who were there that weren't with either team. I would love to know what it was like when you were doing that. Your team, it's not a team you're involved with. So that's why I think I would be very up for doing another Takeover Tour game. It's just I would like to do it without the Frost and see what it's like, you know, where it's two teams involved who aren't your team. And I think that's be with Saturday, to be honest, we actually can do it, because Saturday technically, while I will be having an affiliation with them, they're not technically my team, which means I can, if I want to, root against all of this needs be. So I think it would be very interesting to see how it would be like to go on a Takeover Tour. It's not your team involved, because the point would have been, because we did spot a Fleet jersey, we did spot a Fleet jersey, so there were fans of other teams there, so you just had to basically try and spot them, so I would really love to do another Takeover Tour game, but I'd love to do one where it's not the Frost, it's just two different teams, and I get to see what I feel like I experience that. And I feel we would have a really good comparison of what it's like experience a Takeover Tour game. So I think that we would have a really good comparison of what it's like experience a Takeover Tour game with our Frost, and experience what it's like with a Takeover Tour game with our Frost. So I think that's something to add on the many travel things that we want to do with this league. Add them on. But honestly, it was a real. I will admit, we did have a really lovely time in Denver. It was such an amazing experience being there. It was like a one-time thing, and we had really good seats. I keep saying I don't think if we were going there to watch Burnley, we were either for Sharks, Wild, or Kings. I don't think we would have got those seats. I think we would have had to go maybe a couple of rows further back. But it was just such good seats. They weren't front row, but they kind of felt like you were on front row, if you get what I mean. You get what I mean? It was such brilliant. And can I just say how brilliant it was that Nicole Hensley got to start. Us three were winning this, you know, because we talked about a lot in the run to the trip, you know, who could potentially get on Friday and Saturday. We didn't really. So who's going to get that on Friday? Who would you consider getting a net for on Sunday? Because we were kind of hoping Maddie Marie goes and starts against Seattle. That allows Nicole Hensley the night off to then get ready on Saturday to then go in net on Sunday. And that's the way it didn't work. Because obviously Hensley couldn't play in the Denver game last year because of an injury. It was unfortunately the Takeover Tour game in Denver last year came about at the time where everybody in Minnesota, including me, was getting sick. So it was. Well, no, you got sick the week after the Takeover Tour. Yeah, but it was basically passing around the whole place. Everyone was getting sick, left, right, and centre. So then Nicole Hensley couldn't do that game because she was still from injury. So we were really, really, really pleased that she got the opportunity to do it. It was like no question. It had to be Hensley's net. Whether it be win or lose, it had to be her net. And so glad she got the win. So glad she got the win. It was a huge boost. Some of those goals you think are like that first goal, which did go to CSR. I think that easily could have been questionable. Should that not? We remember that during the CSR deliberations, we were thinking this was going to be a huge moment in the game in terms of momentum, and unfortunately, the momentum did swing New York's way rather than it going our way. But at that time, we were thinking, oh, they could have one. They could have one. It's fine. We did not then proceed in getting number 2. And the second one happened very quick succession. Yep. And that's where we're thinking, uh-oh. Although, don't you now start quoting Beyonce, because saying, it was like, oh, no. Because we know what that team's like. We know what the Sirens are like. The Sirens' character is come from behind wins. They know how to come from behind. They've done it plenty of times. Yeah. So when the third one, we were like, oh, because there still felt like time the clock left. Not that we could, no. It was just, wow. Watching that back on the replay, it kind of stunned me how there was so much time left on the clock after that third goal win for York. We were like, oh my god. because for us three, it kind of felt longer because the stress was starting to get to it. It was just like, oh my god. In fact, if you watch the highlights package back, you'll know towards the end, you can tell we were really starting to get tense and itchy because we're like, oh my god, because it was that close from being a regulation win to potentially this thing going to OT or potentially a shootout, and yeah. No, but absolutely, if you were there with us for that game on March 15, you literally got your money's worth. You absolutely got your money's worth. It was such an incredible game to watch, and just an incredible experience to be in Denver, to go into a different state, a different city we never earned a million sport would visit. And I really hope the league just continues building that relationship with Denver, because I do believe Denver is probably going to be the new Detroit. So Denver will keep getting Takeover Tour games until that next round of expansion comes. Yeah, I honestly, I don't know what happened with Denver. I don't know what happened that made Denver not be one of the four chosen. But I think for Denver, you can use the opportunity to basically, wrangle for more Takeover Tour games and start to work through those teething issues that clearly prevented the league from saying yes to you, because you've got the time. Because the next round of expansion has not been for a few years. You have got that time number to now work out what went wrong, what didn't get our bid over the line, and what we need to do to kind of, change it. But we are put for you. Denver, Bernie, I promise you, my darling, if it was up to us, we would have given you a team of a Vegas. We would have. We would have given you a team of a Vegas. We would have. No, but we're still going to hold out for you, Bernie, because we do believe Denver would have been really good. I mean, Denver's proven so much that it's a worthy mark of the PWHL. Literally, the answer is, what more do you want? Blood? I know, does Bernie need to give his tail to you? Not that I think he wants to do that, but seriously, what games? What more does Denver need to do? Surely after that game, I was convinced that, okay, that's it, Denver's good enough. I think we all came away from that game thinking, okay, this time next year they're going to be a team. We're going to start thinking, oh, we'll be back here this time next year as on a road. As a road game, because we still got to do that. Yeah. Well, that's probably going to be Saturday now, isn't it? No! 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 Pick a different one. Pick a different one. No! No! Oh, do you see how to deal with Bernie? Do you see how to deal with on a regular basis? Do you have to deal with, my dear? Oh, no, honestly. Yeah, we all came away like thinking Denver's got locked, and then, yeah, we know. Honestly, it was such an incredible game, and that is a game that we are never going to forget. Yeah, that's going to live on in my memory for a long time, because it's just incredible, and just an incredible experience to be there. So, Denver, we cannot thank you enough for being such gracious hosts. It was a really incredible day that saw Frostball Sirens 3 in Denver. Stop 12, Winnipeg. The only so far the only Central Time Zone Takeover Tour market to give a decent crowd. Affirmative, affirmative. Yeah, I'll read it out for you now. Okay. That is how you do it, Central Time Zone. That is how you do it. Yeah. It was a sale as well, wasn't it? Yeah. So, I did it as well. I'm not forgotten that. 15,225 fans shut out on March 22nd. This also points me out here, guys. This, of course, was the first Takeover Tour game since we got back from Minneapolis. But also, for the Charge perspective, this was their first game since we weren't really thrashed them. Yes! I think that was the biggest surprise of our trip, was how badly we beat Ottawa in that game. Because I think of all the... And this is no disrespect to Seattle and New York, but I think of the 3 games, the one thing we all collectively thought was going to be the tough one was going to be Ottawa. Because every time we played the Charge, it's just been unpredictable. Even going back into season 1, we were just PWHL Minnesota, PWHL Ottawa. It's been an unpredictable match. It's kind of why I love it. Yeah. But yeah. So for the Charge, this was important that they managed to rebound, because they really had their fate in their own hands here. So, and they hadn't really done that well since coming back from the Olympic break. They only won 2 games at that point. They were struggling. Yeah, they were struggling. And it also hadn't done that well against the Big 12 in the regular season. They got 1 win, and that was in this game. And it was a really tight affair. I'm not surprised it went to overtime. What I am surprised was how quick it was done. 12 seconds. That was what. I mean, when we were watching the replay, I was like thinking, wow, was it really only 12 seconds? Was it really only that? Because obviously we did watch this game, although massively jet lagged, still. But the fact that it went so much quicker, it's just like, wow. Yeah. So it was Big 12 at Charge. It was Charge 2, Big 12 1 overtime. So the PWHL Takeover Tour rolled on to Winnipeg, where fans were treated to overtime hockey between Montreal and Ottawa. Rebecca Leslie played hero, scoring the game-winning goal for the Charge just 12 seconds into the extra period, her 12th of the season. Yeah, and I think for Ottawa, I think they might have thought, oh, that's where you look back and think, oh, really? Should have gone to speculation. Yeah, but it was a tight affair. I mean, Gabby Hughes got that first goal. Ottawa, brilliant. Yeah, pretty well there. But with the Big 12 tie up, I just knew, okay, this is going to be quite an intense meeting. The big question I had when the Big 12 did tie up would be, could Ottawa stay the course? Because in those previous meetings, whenever the Big 12 then found a footing, Ottawa couldn't then really respond. Yeah, particularly the last matchup when those two sides met in Montreal. Yeah, it was like, well, come on, he's like, well, you try to roll them on because you want to compete a game. You don't really have an interest who wins in the game, but you just want to see a really good game. Yeah. You're right. And we also saw that in the finals, whenever Montreal took a stranglehold, Ottawa just could not respond. Yeah. So it was good in this game that, okay, while they did give up the lead, they didn't then roll over like they had done in previous meetings against Montreal. They really took the fight to them. Yeah. They really took the fight to them and gave them a real good run for the money and eventually got the win, guys. Yeah, and the amount of power play which used that each team had as well. Particularly late in the game. Oh, yeah. When Montreal got that late power play in the play, I thought, oh my god, if they score, that's it. It's lights out. And then Montreal basically took a penalty during that power play, and that sort of negated it. Like we saw from Vancouver and Quebec. You have a game winning up, you have a game change opportunity, but then you throw it away because you take a penalty. But honestly, that was just so. It was just the overtime went so quick. Yeah. Honestly, I did not expect the overtime to go so quick. Yeah. Well, I think it's very, very rare that we've ever seen an overtime period end so quickly. I mean, 12 seconds. That's quick. Basically, it's winning the opening face-off, and then straight down to the races. Ba-bum, by-pole over and Desbienne, which of course is very, very rare. Yeah. And I felt both Desbienne and Phillips played exceptionally well in this game. I felt for me, that was the big reason why this game basically was a tight affair. Yeah. I just felt this is the reason why this game is so close, is because these two netminers are just literally, there is nothing separating them so far. They're really, making these grade A saves that's keeping their team in and giving their team a chance to be the one that gets the points and gets over the line. I just was so impressed by them like that. Yeah, you gotta remember, obviously, these two literally a few weeks ago literally were in local team reps of their countries, and then there they are now facing off against one another again. Of course, yes, Phillips wasn't in the gold medal game, but still, play a huge role in getting the gold. Yeah, because Phillips actually was the only one that didn't realize the TSA got a shutout in Milan. Yeah. I should have played, one game? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, because we made the right call to rest our starlet mind against Switzerland, whereas Canada did not. And of course we know how well that went down, don't we? Because the next day it was basically the two sides meeting one another. Yeah. So we played smart like Paul, they did not. Yeah. But I felt Winnipeg was treated to a really good game, and what I've loved the most is how the crowd was into it. Yeah, which is really good, because we've been saying that we need to have more markets closer to home. We need more markets close to Minnesota. Whether that is Denver in the mountain region, or... Yeah, because Denver, we know, is only about roughly a 2-hour flight between Minneapolis and all these central time zones. And that's what's so annoying. Because you've had 4 now? Chicago, St. Louis, Dallas, Winnipeg. Yeah, 4. Yeah. 4 markets in the central time zone that could be decent markets. Louis only about 90 minutes up the road. 90 minutes? Yeah, Louis, my favourite little polar bear, Louis, so about 90 minutes up the road. And he only got 8,000 last year's tour. Pathetic. That was pathetic. Literally, it's only 9 minutes up the road. And Chicago on paper would have been perfect. Oh, don't you get me started on that, because you know that attendance. You know that Chicago's attendance literally was all equals F. And was a low F. And yet, somehow, I still think the league's not going to give up on that market. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yep, I can't feel it, too. I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago gets a second go. So when you get a second go, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. And then Dallas is interesting, because, yeah, that was similar to what Louis got. But I do think, given how Texas, after California, is the second populous state, there could be opportunities elsewhere. Like, maybe, if not Dallas, maybe either go Houston or Austin. Like what the AHL's trying to do. Yeah, so I mean, we need to keep a close eye on that. Anyway, yeah. So you actually went on the Winnipeg train. Admit it! Admit it! Right, I basically thought, because we were all trying to think about which markets would go for expansion, and given how we didn't work out what the Canadian was going to be, maybe Winnipeg could have put themselves in the conversation. Yeah, but how would it work? Because you've got the Jets there, you've got the Moose there. Can you really fit a 13 there? In the same Canada? So, well, Winnipeg did really well. I would love Winnipeg to get another go. I'd love to have another go. We know Alberta's being picky. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. That's true. So, I'd love Winnipeg to have another go. I just felt, because we need to have at least one other Central Time Zone team in the league. At least one. If the American ones aren't going to do it, then why not go Canada and put Winnipeg in there? I think Milwaukee is also Central Time Zone. So I think if we go Milwaukee, which I've been trying to say we should consider for a Takeover Tour game, if we go Wisconsin, that might also help. Because Chicago's not helped matters, St. Louis not helped matters, and Dallas not helped matters. But I think Wisconsin would be up for it. So we look at Milwaukee for next year's Takeover Tour. Because you could do markets like that, given now the Takeover Tour is basically what it should be doing in the first place, just to promote the sport and grow our footprint outside the current markets. Yeah. I honestly agree with your point. I would like to have Winnipeg have another go. So if we're looking about who would you give a repeat stop to, I would absolutely say Winnipeg for this year's crop of first timers. Yes, but at this stage, I'm not considering should they not get a team. Well, you don't want to feel expansion now. No, I personally want to put expansion to the back of my mind now, but we get to next season. So, chances are we still will hear that we want a team chance or Takeover Tour, but I'm going to put that at the back of my mind until we get the bat signals that the button's been pressed again. Okay? Because for me, we've got a decent crop now. We just need to get that stability in place and just, working from there. So I think Winnipeg, yes, definitely another Takeover Tour game. But right now, I am not interested in having expansion competition again for at least 3 years. 4 at the most. Baseball George is saying, come back to me in 2030. Come back to me after the French Alps. Then we'll talk. Then we'll talk. Then we'll talk. Because by that point, enough time will have passed. And who knows? Who knows where we'll be by then? Who knows? Yeah, but I agree, boy. I think Winnipeg did a really great, you know, did so well. Really well attended. Sold out. Sold out. Which is brilliant. Because I think so. Because I remember when the Takeover Tour was announced, the details were announced for this season, and literally I was reading them out, and both me and Lady were like, Winnipeg! Yeah, we were like, really? They're getting a go? They're having a stop? Yeah. It's like, Winnipeg! Yeah, it's like, really? Okay, fine. Okay, you want to do it? Go for it. Yeah. But Predators all wrong. Yeah. Predators all wrong. Predators all wrong. Predators all wrong. You think we'd learn better by now, but we don't. And chances are we'll probably do it again next season if we do have a bizarre market put on there for some reason. Richie, what's it going to be next year? Yeah. What a thrilling game to watch against two really, you know, two great rivals. And little did we know back then that would be a preview to the World Cup finals. Yeah, little did we know back then. Little did we know that, because everyone was already making their prediction of it being Boston, Montreal. PWHL's own heated rivalry. We knew better. We knew better. I said to you guys, don't sleep on Ottawa. Don't sleep on Ottawa. So, yeah. So there you go. Little did we know back then. Plus, of course, we were still vastly jet lagged. I think we did fine with that one. It was the Detroit one we struggled with. Oh, yeah, which back to Montreal, yeah. Well, it's funny how, when we got back from Montreal, we had 3 Takeover Tour games in a row. This one, Chicago second stop, and then Detroit second stop. And put us right. By the time it got to Detroit second stop at the end of the week, the 3 was like, I can't keep my eyes open! I'm about to go. I'm going. Right, so I've got. Get the cow! Get the cow! Someone send me to Starbucks. I'll happily go and do a round. Oh God, it was bad. Yeah. It was bad. Yeah. But this is just a thrilling game to watch. It was brilliant. And Winnipeg got treated really exciting, really thrilling game. That was the sort of the time. Rebecca Leslie has proven her worth again. Yeah, she's had a brilliant season. Brilliant. She had a brilliant season this year. She had a really brilliant season this year. Okay, so that is good. So that was just thrilling game to watch. Really helped. We keep coming back from jet lag. So Rebecca Leslie gets to be the hero once again, as charge 2, Victoire 1 in overtime in Winnipeg. You knew we had to bring him on. You knew if we were going to talk the Denver games, we had to bring on Bernie, even though we weren't there for both of them. But yeah, I actually am going a bit of a soft spot for that dog. I really am. I really am. Anyway, so there you go. So that is part 3 done. We've only got one more to do. Can you believe it? We've got one more part to go, and then that's it. The whole Takeover Tour is then covered. And on our final part, we'll go for the last 4 stops on the Takeover Tour, which, apart from Calgary, was basically all return trips. Because it's Chicago, Detroit, Calgary, Edmonton, and Calgary's the only first timer on that portion. Anyway, we'll talk about it next time. Anyway, until then, take care and don't forget to filter freeze.